Hi everyone! Today in science we're going to be learning about a new word. Last week we learned about force. Now force is a push or a pull. Anytime you move something with a push or a pull, you have done a force. But what slows a force down? It's this word. It's called friction. Friction is when two objects rub against each other. An easy way to understand what friction is if you take your hands and you rub back and forth like this. At first, you may not feel anything at all. But if you rub faster and faster, wow, you can probably feel your hands getting really, really warm. That's because your hands have little bumps and ridges on them. And when one hand rubs against the other hand, one hand's force and the other hand's force are going opposite of each other, you're creating friction. So when is friction good to have? When you're driving a car down a road, friction is great because you want the wheels of the car to be able to hold on to the road. One surface rubbing against the other. It holds the car on the road. Or if you're roller skating, friction is great because you don't want your wheels to spin away from you. When do you not want friction? Well, there are times when you're sledding down a hill, or if you're ice skating, you want to be able to smoothly slide along with no objects rubbing against each other. So what are some good ways to not get friction? Things like cooking spray, or oil, or hand cream are all awesome things to use to beat friction. If you put some hand cream on your hands, or baby powder is good, or flour is good too, rub that on your hands. Now it's going to take a lot longer and be a lot harder to get your hands to become warm because you filled in all the cracks in your hands with the cream, and they're slippery. I have a little car that I've been having troubles with. Whenever I try to push it, it sometimes breaks. But when I push my car along, it doesn't move very well. That's because there's friction. Even though it's a smooth table, the rubbing of the bottom of the car against the table is creating friction. I wonder what I could do to get rid of the friction. Maybe if I were to put some wheels on this without breaking it. It might work. The wheels are stuck. I didn't put them together quite right, but maybe if I adjust this a little. Yeah, you kind of get the idea of it. That the wheels do help overcome friction. Maybe put them on the wrong way. And now I just broke it too. I was going to sit here and play with this all day, but, well, maybe I have to go home and work on it some more. Long ago, people in a place called Egypt used great big bricks to make pyramids. And these bricks were huge. They weighed 2 tons each. Well, they would drag these bricks across the sand. And there was friction between the brick sinking to the sand and the sand dragging it along, and it made it very tough for the workers to pull these massive blocks of granite all over the desert. So somebody came up with an idea. They didn't have hand cream to put across the sand. They didn't have oil to put across the sand. But they did have logs. So what they would do is put down logs, and then, if they spread them out, they could more easily fight friction and move these gigantic bricks across the sand. That's one way of overcoming friction. One of the neatest ways to see exactly what friction is like is if you take a piece of sandpaper. If you rub it back and forth, you can hear the sand rubbing against each other. You're hearing it, friction being used, or friction being made back and forth. When have you had friction? Maybe rubbing your hands, maybe when you stepped out of the shower and your feet were slippery and you slipped across the floor. Wait a minute. Kids don't take baths, so that probably doesn't happen very often. But if kids did take baths and you stepped out of the bathtub with slippery feet, yes, you would have no friction there. Friction helps you walk down a sidewalk, it helps you drive a car, it even helps you turn the handle on a doorknob. Without friction, you wouldn't be able to get your hand to grip it. So, aha! Friction can be useful. Oh, I forgot we're still taping. I was going to play with this for a while more. Our word of the day is friction, when two objects rub against each other. Have a great day, everyone.